Our top story check takes us to the Turks and Caicos, where COVID-19 restrictions remain in place for visitors, despite the fact that all other Caribbean countries have now done away with strict COVID mandates. Our One Caribbean News' Deandra Hamilton found out why the TCI government decided to extend these mandates.
They did not allow it to expire, and just days before the Christmas holiday, residents learned that the government had decided to extend the regulation, which mandates that all visitors to the Turks and Caicos Islands be fully vaccinated against COVID-19. It leaves the TCI as the only Caribbean country still holding on to the travel entry requirement and one of the few in the world. The mandate, which would have expired on December 31st, is now being pushed forward for 3 more months until March 31st, 2023. In light of the extension, our news team reached out to the relevant authorities in the TCI to find out the reason for that extension. The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health, Desiree Lewis, told us that the extension was made based on several factors. These include observed increases in COVID-19 cases regionally and internationally, including hospitalizations and death. Lewis said the TCI's COVID-19 positivity rate remains high at 8.7% between November 1st and December 8th, noting that the country's hospitals would not be able to deal with a spike due to the high volumes of travel being experienced during the winter season. The issue of low booster uptake among the local population was also a reason given for the mandate extension. As it relates to tourism, the permanent secretary said the figures remain high in spite of the vaccinated visitor requirement, as it provides a level of reassurance to travelers that both the population and visitors are fully vaccinated. Also in December, the first COVID-19 death in 11 months for the Turks and Caicos. Still, executives of the Hotel and Tourism Association say the extension for 3 more months is going to hurt. Stacy Cox, executive director, said as of May 2022, 30 countries, including the United Kingdom, have lifted the vaccination requirement for entry. However, the TCHTA believes that this requirement no longer serves us and will now position us as a destination that is archaic in its policies.
And that was Deandra Hamilton reporting there. Well, meantime, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness has served notice that his government will be focused this year on closing loopholes that allow criminals to escape justice. In his New Year message, he said Jamaicans should start to see a sustained reduction in violent crimes, particularly murders, in 2023. He said there will also be increased public order and safety.
This year, a clear message will be sent to violence producers that law enforcement and the criminal justice system is not a revolving door. Criminals will begin to understand that we are changing the risk-reward dynamic of crime in Jamaica. The probability of being caught is great. The penalty for crimes is high, and the opportunities and loopholes to escape justice are being closed.
Well, meantime, Prime Minister Holness also warned that the rate of arrest for illegal firearm offenses will increase under the Firearms Act that came into force in November of 2022, providing sentences of between 15 years and life in prison.
I want to take this opportunity to appeal to our young men who are both the perpetrators of gun crime and the victims of gun crimes to turn away from guns. Avoid persons who you know have guns or have dealings with guns. The probability of being arrested and taken out of society for at least 15 years is increasing daily.
And the Prime Minister told the country that the legislative framework is also being strengthened to tackle crime and the endemic. He said that in the next few months, amendments will be taken to Parliament to increase the penalty for murder to over 30 years. And the bail process will be streamlined with the passage of a brand new Bail Act, a new corrections bill, a fingerprints bill, and an enhanced security measures bill will all be tabled this year. Well, meantime, disgraced FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried has pleaded not guilty to charges that he cheated investors out of billions of dollars that led to the cryptocurrency exchange collapse. Bankman-Fried entered his plea in a federal courtroom in Manhattan on Tuesday. He is charged with 8 criminal counts that include wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. A judge set Bankman-Fried's trial date for October 2nd. There he is getting out of the car there. If convicted, he could face up to 115 years in prison. Bankman-Fried is currently free on a $250 million bail. He must remain under house arrest at his parents' home in California. And it's been a very busy week at airports all around the world as travelers rushed home after the holidays, while flights are largely back to normal after some major delays and cancellations due to weather. The lost baggage woes are continuing, with people still struggling to reunite with their lost luggage. And now some folks are keeping their bags safe into their own hands by using GPS trackers. Dee Dee Sun explains from Seattle's SeaTac Airport.
Clearly, the travel troubles are not over because there are stacks like this of abandoned suitcases all over this baggage claim floor of the airport. And you can see how busy the airport is right now here at baggage claim. Now, some people are taking the lost luggage problem into their own hands.
And apparently it got lost in Dallas somewhere.
Luggage everywhere, separated from owners.
It seems like my bag got lost.
Stacks of suitcases still litter baggage claim at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport.
It's chaotic. You see a lot of frustrated people.
The problem is lingering from the Christmas weather mess nationwide, plus the unprecedented Southwest Airlines cancellations.
I checked in.
On the 29th?
Correct.
Okay.
And so they take my bag and the bag goes away. And it has all my Christmas presents in it. That's the worst part about it.
None of these travelers we spoke with at SEA Monday used any sort of GPS tracker.
That would be smart. Maybe that should be our plan from now on.
Valerie Sabala did use a tracker, an Apple AirTag.
First time ever. Turns out it really was worth it. I'm so glad.
On her flight home to Washington, D.C., her bag got lost. Her tweets about its journey went viral with over 16 million views. She tracked her bag to an apartment complex, a McDonald's, and a shopping center.
You feel very violated to know that people are lying to you and saying we have your bag and they don't. And you can see it on the tracker and it's doing crazy stuff.
In November, Cairo 7 investigated the worsening problem of bag thefts at SEA and tested out GPS trackers. This Port of Seattle detective recommends you use one.
I think they're fantastic. I use them myself.
Between Apple's AirTag, a Tile Pro, and a Land Sea Air GPS tracker, the Apple AirTag came out on top with the fewest glitches. Valerie got her bag back, delivered by a courier.
I think without two things, without the tracker and without a tweet thread going viral, I wouldn't have my bag back today.
And some people we spoke with at SEA did not need a tracker.
My Christmas gifts have arrived, yes. We're good to go.
United Airlines says with Valerie's case, the baggage vendor that they used to deliver her bag did not meet their standards, and I'm told they are now investigating. I also reached out to Alaska Airlines, of course, based here in Seattle. I'm told that after the winter storms, their staff has reunited 10,000 bags with travelers. Clearly that work is still ongoing because there are bags like this stacked outside of their offices here at Baggage Claim as well.
Well, switching gears now, U.S. News and World Reports released its 2023 diet rankings on Tuesday, and the Mediterranean style of eating was named the best overall diet for another year in a row. This way of eating is more of a lifestyle than a diet. It features simple plant-based cooking with a focus on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, and seeds. Mediterranean food uses mostly extra virgin olive oil instead of butter. Studies have shown this style can reduce the risk for diabetes, high cholesterol, dementia, depression, and breast cancer. Aside from winning best overall, the Mediterranean also tied for best family-friendly diet and best bone and joint health diet. Meanwhile, the worst diet went to the raw foods diet for its lack of nutritional completeness and difficulty to follow.